Hello guys and welcome back to the internet's best reactions to the Chinese Grand Prix, Race 1000. Now before we begin, I must apologise for the late upload of this internet's best reactions. I was on holiday watching a little bit of the old golf, the Masters, watching my friend Tyrrell Hatton play, so I apologise, but let's get straight into your tweets. Now before we start with the actual racing action, there was a little bit of action before the race even begun at Curahi_506, Formation Lap 2019 style. I think, now please do not correct me if I'm wrong, I know you will anyway. There was a Williams, I believe, that spun, and also Max Verstappen that spun on the formation lap. So that was probably more action than the entirety of Race 1000, and that upsets me. The start of the race was pretty hectic for both of the McLarens. Now, I know Lando Norris did an amazing tweet, but we can't share it because of Formula 1 restrictions. However, at Kyle Bartlett 123, the torpedo strikes again on both McLarens, and my goodness me, Lando went flying, and it ruined his race, and it ruined Carlos's race. The torpedo did strike again. Now, I mentioned that the race was boring, and it pretty much was. I mean, if you've watched the race highlights, if you watched the actual race, there just really wasn't much going on. However, there was one big talking point that involved Ferrari once again. At F. Martin's swoo, Ferrari let Sebastian by literally everyone else. Now, I was very sad to see it. However, I do see why Ferrari did let Vettel through, but not as late as it happened, because Leclerc was given the opportunity to potentially pull away, didn't. Then Vettel started to fall away, and then they were like, oh, let him through. It was a strange strategy call from Ferrari, as it always is. Now this one's very good. This might be my favourite tweet of the weekend. At Obscenity, Gasly trying to be as fast as the top 5. Oh, it is painful to watch at the moment, especially when he posts on social media. It's always about like, we'll work hard to find the missing pace. He just knows that the sharks are kind of circling. Those are the Red Bull bosses, of course, kind of just waiting for them to pounce. And it's not going to be long. We've seen many Red Bull drivers demoted in the past. Will it happen again? At Luke Smith F1 comes in with a pretty good tweet. Vettel, I can match Hamilton's lap times. Doubt. And he didn't. This whole season is being slightly strange. You've got Australia, Mercedes dominating. Bahrain, Ferrari should have dominated. And then China, Mercedes again out in front. It's a very topsy-turvy season at the moment. Will it settle down? Now, another talking point from the Chinese Grand Prix wasn't anything to do with the racing, it was the camera work. What on earth was the production company doing for the Chinese Grand Prix? At Nilika Hillas, what's up with the constant zoom in on the Renault at the start-finish straight? It was so strange. It was kind of like, be there, and then it'd be, whoosh, and then it'd be like, zoom, and then it'd be like, oh, out zoom, and then out zoom, that's not even a word, but it was just crazy. Rubbish. It literally looked like amateurs. We could have done a better job. At Williams Gaming 1, Vettel gets let through by Leclerc. Vettel, whilst he has been in front of Leclerc. It did seem that way, and I think that was because of Ferrari's strategy in leaving Vettel too long behind Leclerc, because I think his tyres were then a little bit messed up, because he didn't really pull away from Leclerc that much. He didn't chase the Ferraris down, and he was a little bit of a snail. Now, this was something I noticed as well. At 10 Papala, Vettel's tyres, if he keeps on braking, lat that. Now, I think he means like, but I do love a typo, so I said lat anyway. And I noticed that as well. It was just any heavy braking point, he was locking up, and then Leclerc kind of had a little bit of a sniff, but Vettel was not on point for the Chinese Grand Prix. If anybody's seen the Netflix F1 documentary, well, if you haven't, where have you been? At Stakowski's obviously watched it. Renault out again, Christian Horner. Renault really aren't having the best of reliabilities at the moment, are they? It's just continuing on, and Red Bull seem to be there or thereabouts, so who was at fault last year? Finally, some on-track action happened on lap 19 at Roy_Weijingen. Verstappen versus Vettel. Whew. Yes, it didn't last very long, but Verstappen went for it and he got up the inside, then he snatched his brake on the right front, and then Vettel just side by side squeezed him a little bit. And obviously Vettel, yeah, it was good defending from Vettel, to be fair. He kind of just showed the young kid, Max Verstappen, who's boss, and it was a shame that he didn't get through, because I feel like that would have been an epic battle for maybe the next few laps. But instead, Vettel stayed in front and Leclerc got screwed over, which I'll get onto in a minute. Social Media Team Championship time now, and the teams did get involved a little bit more this week, mainly because probably there was nothing going on track, so they had to make up some banter. Let's get into the results. At Renault F1 team coming in at third place, the reigning champions. Perez has snuck in, however, reviving the much-loved meat sandwich excuse for this gift. Obviously, this is when Perez was between Ricciardo and Hulkenberg. And I know a lot of you read in the comments, oh my God, Renault again in the social media team championship, but they just churn out decent tweets all the time. Just decent gif after decent meme, and they get featured. Don't complain, they're good. 1 point. In second place, it is at Williams Racing. Juan Pablo Montoya. We mean George Russell, suited and booted, ready to jump in the car. Nice little bounce from Williams, as well as including Montoya, a legend of Formula One, so you get a couple of points. A couple of points. And finally, a momentous occasion in the social media team championship. The winners for the Chinese Grand Prix are Scuderia Ferrari. Surely the best team principal selfie in F1 history. I love it. I love the fact Ferrari are here. They're ready to stay in this social media battle, and they have scored maximum points here. I am so proud of you, Ferrari. Get your strategy better though. 3 points.
That's Renault F1 team with 1 point, Williams Racing with 2 points, and Scuderia Ferrari with 3 points.
Ferrari, what on earth were you doing with Leclerc? At Crutch Mesh, Ferrari trying to decide Leclerc's strategy. They just left him out. Did they forget that they had 2 drivers? They just like, Vettel prioritised, we need to make sure that this guy who hasn't won a championship for us yet continues to be our #1 driver. Oh God, yeah, we've got that other guy, Leclerc. Just left him out, he goes and pits, and then he's 15 seconds behind his teammates. Absolutely shafted. And then Verstappen got him. What a joke. I'm fine. Not a fanboy, just passionate. And this carries on my point so well. At Hamgraph. Great meme. Nothing else needs to be said. That is spot on. I don't want to be too harsh on Williams because obviously they're going through a lot at the moment, trying to make a quicker car to have any kind of fights with the midfield. But I'm going to read this one out anyway. At HyperBeast41, actual footage of the Williams car. I'm liking that Photoshop, to be fair, especially the handle as the rear wing. That's clever. At F1 Extremist, watching Lando in 18th. That is an amazing gif, because obviously Lando, very young, obviously 3rd race, and he's had such a good first 2 races, and then he just got absolutely punted, then he had to retire, which was a shame. His first retirement from Formula One, but I think he'll be back with a bang in Baku. We're actually going to be there in Azerbaijan as well. Exciting! With Leclerc being held out for so long, he was obviously on fresher tyres and kind of hunting down Verstappen at a second or so a lap, but he was so far behind, it was taking far too long. And at Gidges_Lagervige, why do I choose these names? Me waiting for that Verstappen-Leclerc fight like. We all were. I don't know if we were as bright-eyed and bushy-tailed as SpongeBob, because it was like maybe 3:15 a.m. at the time. I'm pretty sure I was just on my phone, and it just didn't happen, did it? It just shafted. It's the only word I've got. Unbelievable. Boring was the key word as at Chamber F1. Oh wow, you know it's getting bad when they replay the start again. Yeah, they were just clinging on to lap 1, just being like, let's look at the Lando, let's look at the start, let's look at Lando again, let's look at the start again, let's look at... It was a dreadful race, wasn't it? And I predicted in our podcast it was going to have 96 overtakes. I had 96 winks of sleep, more like. Wow, that was terrible. 96 winks of sleep, what even is that? What even is 96 winks of sleep? Is that... God, I am still jet lagged from America right now. Now, you know how I mentioned before about not being horrible to Williams, but this one made me really laugh, so I'm sorry, Williams. It's nothing personal, it's just a great meme, and I love this video so much. Feeling F1 official on Instagram, Robert Kubica and George Russell fighting at the back of the grid. Oh, this bin video is just incredible. Love it. Amazing. Now, Harry_Watkins96 hit me right in the feels with this one, dozing off Chinese Grand Prix in the middle of the night when you're half asleep because the race is so boring and Crofty shouts, "Oh no!" when Leclerc is in the pits. Genuinely jumped out of my skin. Wasn't really watching, I was like, oh, Leclerc's in the pits. Oh no! You know, it was panic. Panic stations, but he was fine. But Crofty for some reason said, oh no. Maybe he was tired. The Toro Rosso of Alex Albon had a very down and then up weekend. It's usually up and down, but it was a down because he crashed in FP3, I think it was, and then ended up finishing P10 after starting at the back of the grid. What a legend. At Lewis Glynn 69. We need to be giving all the praise to Alex Albon in this race. Crash, new chassis, pit lane start, currently 10th. Well, he finished 10th. This is how to drive a Toro Rosso. This is the driver of the day. Oh, passion. Love it. Now, the theme of the video has been about Ferrari screwing over Leclerc and also the race being boring. Now, this is another one about Ferrari, and it is very, very good. At Spanners Ready, Leclerc has been invited for a post-race consolation beer by Raikkonen and Massa at Rubens Barrichello's house. Poor guy, poor guy. We haven't really spoken about the Mercedes out in front, have we? Well, this is a pretty good gif. At IGP Manager, did you see them? Who? The Ferraris? Nope.
And now it's time for Race Rundown with your host, Matthew Gallagher.
Here we go, race rundown time. I'm jet lagged, and this is going to take a long, long time. Here we go, the finishers of the Chinese Grand Prix. Wow. Hamilton, Bottas, Verstappen, Vettel. That is not how it went. It's not Hamilton, Bottas. I cannot read. Literally cannot read. I'm going to have to zoom in a bit more here. Lovely, much better. This is it. Hamilton, Bottas, Verstappen. Why have I said Verstappen's got third twice now? It literally says Vettel. It's because there's two V's. Hamilton, Bottas, Vettel, Verstappen, Leclerc, Gasly, Ricciardo, Perez, Raikkonen, Albon, Grosjean, Stroll, Magnussen, Sainz, Giovinazzi, Russell, Kubica. The non-finishers. Wow. Norris Kvyat Hulkenberg. Norris Kvyat Hulkenberg. Norris Kvyat Hulkenberg. There you go. Norris Kvyat Hulkenberg. The non-finishers were Norris Kvyat Hulkenberg. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching the internet's best reactions to the Chinese Grand Prix. It was an absolute bore fest, and I must apologise for the late upload of this video, but man's got to have a holiday at some point, and this is the first time that I've ever done it, so I apologise again. But like I said, there was a lot of messages going, Matt, where are you? Blah, blah, blah. We're here. It's back. I'm so sorry it's late. It won't ever happen again. It might do. Who knows? I might go on another holiday. Anyway, we're going to be in Azerbaijan, so look forward to that in the paddock. Going to be sick. See you then. No, if you want to use the hashtag WTF1 on Twitter and Instagram to get involved, then do. Goodbye.